Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to our Form Simplicity training. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to join us for this training. Form Simplicity, of course, is one of the most important tools that we are going to use as realtors, besides the MLS and perhaps IMAP and RPR guys. So please pay attention, ask questions if you are new and this is your first time looking at Form Simplicity. This is where we will manage all of our transactions, access our forms, write our contract to leases, write our purchase contracts, our listing agreements. We're going to use this to get the electronic signing for our clients and much more, guys. So, again, pay attention. This is being recorded. We will share this recording with you later on today. And let's go ahead and get started. All right. So inside of your Miami Gateway, when you're logged in, you're going to look for Form Simplicity. That's going to open up the program itself. Also, when you are inside of a listing and your client wants to place an offer on this listing, you're always going to look for the little symbol for Form Simplicity, which is the FS symbol that you see right up here. Okay, but before I click on there, I'm actually going to take you through some of the folders inside of Form Simplicity just to make sure that you guys have it all up to date. Now, the first thing that you guys want to decide is that do you want to use the eSign feature? Form Simplicity is a member benefit and you get it with your membership to the Association of Realtors. However, the eSign is not included. The eSign is available for purchase, and you guys, if you have the word upgrade up here somewhere, then you do not have eSign. You would have to click on upgrade and then you'd purchase eSign, which is available for like about $80 for the year. All right, so it's not expensive, it's very affordable. And of course, it's a tool that we will use almost every single day that we're working with our clients. All right, so it's an essential tool having the electronic signing. There are other options like DocuSign and Dotloop. Those are much more expensive. All right, so $80 for the year is actually very affordable. All right, so once we have that upgraded, then you won't see the word upgrade here anymore. Okay. To check your preferences for Form Simplicity, you're always going to go ahead and click on preferences, and you can go through your entire account settings, email notification settings, eSign preferences and templates, and just go through your preferences. All right, we're not really going to do that in class. That's something that you guys can take care on your own. If you ever need help with Form Simplicity, they do have a help section right up here. You click on help, it's going to open a new window and you can access an entire library of knowledge and you can access a library of videos, live recorded trainings, and then they do have a support telephone number. You can click on support right here and you're going to see their phone number is right down here. They're located in Orlando, which is where the Florida Association of Realtors is located. You can always chat with them online by clicking on online chat, and they're available Monday through Sunday, really, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., and then Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And that's the help section of Form Simplicity. You do that by clicking on help. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look up here. We have home, we have transactions, we have blank forms. We have my files, we have contacts, and we have templates. All right. You do not have broker dashboard. This is something that we get as part of the administrative team here at Elite Ocean View Realty. All right. So really what I want to cover is the blank forms before we get into transactions. So let's go ahead and click on blank forms. Anytime someone asks you for a form or you need some type of form, you can always go to the blank forms and you're going to see up here that you have board, Miami Association of Realtors, you have Florida, and you have a little folder here called Fannie Mae. Now, for the most part, we are going to use the forms from Florida. The forms that you see in Miami Association of Realtors, these are basic MLS forms that you may need at some point. All right. Otherwise, you're gonna not use that. You're gonna use always the Florida form. Now, that being said, we here at Elite Ocean View Realty have built packages for you. So if I open up Florida and I have all of my forms sorted in alphabetical order, it's always going to begin with the blank addendum, the addendum to a contract, right? And then if you scroll down just a little bit more, you will see the as is residential contract for sale and purchase. That's your 4 bar contract for purchase. There is a huge library of contracts, forms, and disclosures inside of the forms. On the upper right corner, there is a search, right? And you can always put in here, say you're looking for an exclusive buyer broker agreement. Then let's just go ahead and type in the word buyer and let's click on search. And then we will see somewhere in here the exclusive buyer broker agreement transaction broker. All right, that one right there. Let's say that we were looking for a contract to lease. Just type in the word lease, and then you're gonna go ahead and find the contract to lease right here. Okay, so every single form, let's do one more. Let's say we're looking for a lead-based disclosure, lead-based paint disclosure. We type in the word lead, and you will see here the lead-based paint disclosure. Okay, so now that being said, again, our office has prepared packages for you, and you're going to see them under forms packages. All right, so let's go ahead and review some of these packages. We're going to go down here to the lease package. And this is when you are representing the tenant, you will need a contract to lease to make an offer, right? That's what we refer to a CTL. Every time that you hear the term CTL, that's what we refer to, the contract to lease. And then you have the lease agreement for a single family home, and then you have the lease agreement for a condo. Now, in most cases, when you represent the tenant, all you need to fill out is the contract to lease. Once accepted, then the landlord tenant, or sorry, the landlord agent is going to then prepare a lease agreement and send it to you so you and your client can sign it. So you won't really be preparing a residential lease agreement if you represent a tenant. Yes, you'd be reviewing the one sent to you and you'd be signing it and also having your client sign the lease agreement. However, it is part of our lease package. So in the event that you do represent, say, the landlord, then you know where you can find the lease agreement for a residential single family home or for a condo. Okay. Underneath that, we do have some files like property disclosures, the notice of tenant rights, and we have here the notice of rent increase, and then we have the notice to terminate a month-to-month tenancy. All right, these are files, guys, that you can always open, download, and use them. Now, can you create your own package? Yes, you can. You can always click on create transaction. Sorry. Can you create your own package? Yes, you can. All right, we're gonna have to get out of the broker package completely. Click on packages, and you can always click here where it says create a new package, and you can pretty much create your own bundle of forms and have it in your own package. You're not able to edit or modify any of the broker packages. Notice, if I open up the purchase contract as is, all of these forms here, the only thing I'm able to do is either create a transaction from this package, or I can print, email, or download the form in blank. We're not even able to open the form from inside of the packages. Notice I can't click here and open it. All right. So the broker packages, all right, only allow you to create a transaction using this package, print an individual form, email an individual form, or download an individual form. Okay. Now, if I go back to packages and I click on create a new package, all we need to do is give it a name. All right. I don't want to confuse you guys. This is just something that I want to uh, kind of go over. But notice that we can always use the broker packages. It's been prepared for you. But of course, this is a form simplicity class, and I want to show you how to create your own package. So right here we have forms package name. Let's call it listing agreement, and let's click on create forms package. Notice now underneath personal, we have our listing agreement package, and it's currently empty, right? Because we need to fill it up now. We need to fill that folder up with the forms that we're going to use when we do a listing agreement. Okay, so you're going to click on add blank forms. And then right here in search, let's just put in the word listing and let's search for the exclusive right to list transaction broker. This one right here, exclusive right of sale, listing agreement, transaction broker. We're going to add to the package. Now we have one form on the package. Let's repeat the steps. We're going to go here to add blank forms. And now we're going to come over here and we're going to search for the lead base paint disclosure. And we're going to select that one. And we're also going to select the lead info pamphlet. Okay. And then let's go ahead and add to the package. Now we have those. And I'm going to go ahead and add one more. And that's going to be the seller's disclosure. All right. The seller's real property disclosure. You're going to need that. All right. So seller's property disclosure, right there for residential. You're going to select that one. Let's go ahead and select the one for a condo as well. And then add those to the package. So when you are preparing a listing, you're going to need the listing agreement. If the house was built before 1978, you want to go ahead and also include the lead info pamphlet. And you want to do the seller's property disclosure, residential for a single family home or condominium for a condo. You want to have your client, the seller, sign it all. And then you can upload the listing into the MLS, right? That's your forms package, guys. It's very simple. Forms packages, take a look. Underneath personal, I have a listing agreement created today, May 7th. Okay. I can always delete any forms package by clicking on it. And then you see up here, delete forms package. We're going to go ahead and delete it. And it is now gone. I only have one forms package. You are not able to delete any broker package. All right, so get familiar with your broker package. What is inside of the buyer package? All right, we have the exclusive buyer broker agreement, transaction broker, and the showing agreement. All right, keep in mind, coming this summer, late July, we are going to be required to fill out an exclusive buyer broker agreement with all of our buyers. We will have a class at the end of this month in person at our Coral Gables office, the last Friday of the month. So on May 31st, we will have a class on the exclusive buyer broker agreement. We're going to teach you how to fill out the exclusive buyer broker agreement. Okay. All right. So that's what's inside of the buyer package. Then we have a commercial package. What's inside of that? We have our commercial contract. We have our exclusive right of sale listing agreement for a commercial property. We have a vacant land contract. We have a vacant land listing agreement. Going back to the packages, we have the exclusive right to sell. This is when you're going to list a property. Remember how we just built one? Well, there is one here already built for us. And there's the transaction broker, right? The listing agreement transaction broker. There's also the modification to list. There's the short sale addendum to a listing agreement. There's the commission agreement. And then there's the referral agreement. Click on forms, packages, and we have the same listing agreement, but for a lease. And then, of course, the as is contract for sale and purchase. All right. All of these are created by our broker and only to be updated by our broker. All right. So that's your blank forms, guys. The next step, of course, is learning how to use Form Simplicity for a transaction. Okay. Now you can always go to transactions right here and you can always start a new transaction. Very simple. You click on start a new transaction and you start entering the details of the transaction. It will also allow you to import the MLS data from the MLS. Now you can do it that way, or you can go straight to the MLS like this. And in today's example, we have a client that is interested in purchasing this condo. We're going to go ahead and click on FS, which is up here, Form Simplicity. And it will open Form Simplicity and it will transfer all the data from Form Simplicity, or sorry, from the MLS into Form Simplicity, as you can see. So we're pretty much saving a step. Rather than going this route by clicking on transactions and then clicking on start a new transaction, we can go directly to the MLS and you can click on the FS symbol if you're representing a buyer or a tenant, and it will open right away. So when do you actually go to start a new transaction? Well, if you represent the landlord or if you represent the listing, the seller, right? There is no data on the MLS, and you would have to go here and click on start a new transaction, and you would put in the address of the property. You would name the transaction. You would select here that it's a residential property, and then you would select here that it is a listing, right? A listing. That's if you represent the landlord or the seller. All right, do we have any questions so far? Everything's good? Everything's clear?
Sí.
Yes, perfect. All right. So our next step is to, of course, continue filling this out. All right. Now, notice right here, it says seller landlord. It's got a little blank space here. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and put in here Michael Jordan. Those of you that have taken classes with me know already that I like to use Michael Jordan as an example. All right, now party 1 and party 2 is not really necessary. You don't have to fill in the blanks here. The only one that is going to pretty much go on the contract is this one here. What if Michael Jordan also is purchasing this property with his wife? Then you would basically do this and then you would put in the wife's name. Let's go put in here wife Jordan. All right. And then now you have Michael and his wife who are purchasing the property. If it's Michael alone, then you put in Michael. What if you have 3 people that are purchasing the property? Same thing. It'll be Michael Jordan, it'll be wife Jordan, and it'll be cousin Jordan. And you're going to put all 3 here. Guys, if more than 3 people are purchasing the property, they should open some type of corporation or LLC, because contracts really only give us room for 2 signatures. We can add a 3rd signature, but adding 4 signatures for buyers is pretty tough. Okay. All right, so we have here Michael Jordan as our sorry. You know, I went completely backwards on this. Michael Jordan is my buyer, right? Not my seller. So let's come down here real quick here. Michael Jordan would be my buyer. All right, so my apologies. Let's just reverse a little bit here. Michael Jordan is my buyer. Up here, we're actually entering the seller's name. So how do we find out the seller's name? You open up either Realist, which is this little dollar symbol, or IMAP. I'm going to go ahead and open up IMAP in a new tab. And here we have the seller's name, Allegra and Mia Corp. All right, so we can come over here now and we can put in Allegra and Mia Corp. And those are the seller names. So before I was entering the buyer over here, but no, it says seller landlord. So you look up who the seller is on record, and we have now confirmed that the seller is Allegra and Mia Corp. And then we went up here and we put it in here. And then we have down here, the buyer name is Michael Jordan. Now, what is the purchase price? All right, so it's currently listed at how much? $395,000. Let's go ahead and offer $390,000. All right, no commas, no decimal points. Just go ahead and put in the whole number, 390,000. Then drop down below and click on save to a transaction on the lower left corner. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and say that this is a new transaction. We're gonna give it a name right here by clicking on same as address. And then I typically like to do this. Put in the client's name after the address of the property. So when I'm looking for a transaction, I'm looking for the property address plus the client's name. Next step is to select the property type. This is a residential and this is a purchase. All right, click on save to a new transaction, and now we have a transaction. All right, so I have a question for you guys. Now that we have our transaction, how do I add the forms into the transaction? We are looking at it right here. Which of these two buttons do we click on? Anyone? All right, guys. You guys are all there. Anyone?
No.
Forms package.
Forms package. Yes, thank you so much. Can you select blank forms? The answer is yes. Okay, but here's the thing. The forms package was built for you to use, and it has pre-filled information on these contracts already. So that's what makes it most important, is that the blank forms are blank. Nothing is pre-filled. So you want to use our templates, and for that, you're always going to click on Add Forms Package. And then, of course, we are going to select Purchase Contract right here. And if you want all of these forms, then leave everything checked. If you only want a few of the forms, uncheck everything, right? Uncheck everything, and then select the ones you want. So for example, I like the as is. This is a condo purchase, so I am also going to include the condominium rider. If we are going to add an appraisal contingency, then you'll select the appraisal contingency. Then, was this property built prior to 1978? So going over here to Matrix, we're going to see that this property was built in 1972. So we're going to also include the lead base paint disclosure. Okay. Anything else that you want to include, you include it. I always get into a habit of including an addendum. You are going to you probably use several addendums during your transaction. Okay. And get in a habit already of including an exclusive buyer broker agreement. Okay. Now click on add to transaction. You're going to confirm right here by clicking on continue. And now we have all the forms that we need for our transaction. If you are purchasing a single family residence or a townhouse, and this is going to be FHA financing, then I do invite you to go to the blank forms and come over here to where it says search forms and put in FHA search, and you're gonna need this one, the one that says Florida Realtors Bar Residential Contract and Addendum. This is the FAR Bar FHA VA Addendum. Okay. Now that's not going to be for a condo because we're not purchasing this condo with FHA, but I just wanted to show you how to look up an FHA addendum and how to add it to your transaction. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and open up the contract itself. Take a look how everything has been updated. So we have the seller's name, we have the buyer's name, right? We have the address of the property and the full legal description. Then right here, we have the purchase price. You're going to put in the deposit. So let's put in here a deposit of $15,000. All right, $15,000. This deposit is to be made electronically within 3 days. And you're going to put in here the title company that you'd like to use. All right. So once again, here we have who is going to be representing, right? The law office. All right. Let me just go ahead and put in here ABC title. All right, guys, if you need recommendations for a title company, please contact me. I have several title companies that we use with Elite Ocean View Realty. They are our partners. All right, so ABC title is not one. I just wanted to put something here. And then right here, all right, line 39. All right, how much financing will they be doing? How much down payment are they giving? So let's say they're going to finance 80%. So now it automatically calculates that at closing, they need an additional $63,000. So they have their deposit of $15,000 and they need an additional $63,000 at closing, balance to close. Okay. Now that's not including the closing costs, right? Closing costs are separate. They're additional. All right. So time of acceptance. So today is what, the 7th of May. Let's give them until Friday. This is a valid offer up until May 10th, 2024 in the evening. Okay. Closing date. When would you like to close? Let's go ahead and say we want to close somewhere in the middle of June. So June 14th. Notice how everything is pre-filled for you guys. So right here we have the loan commitment time period. Okay. This is going to be a property, an offer that is contingent on a loan commitment of 30 days. And this is going to be a conventional loan. If you're working on FHA, then you select FHA. If this is a cash transaction, then you would be selecting A. All right, this loan is going to be for a term of 30 years, sorry. And then you have here, loan application must be submitted within 5 days. All right, guys, read the contract. If you leave this blank, it is going to default to 30 days. If you leave this blank, it defaults to 30 years. And if you leave this blank, it defaults to 5 days. We already filled it out for you. Okay. Moving on down. This is checked for you. This is checked for you. this is also checked for you. All right. This is not a contract class. I'm not trying to teach you about the contract. It's just for simplicity. Notice here line number 261, property inspections and right to cancel. Buyer shall have 10 days. If you leave it blank, it defaults to 15 days. It is highly recommended that you use 10 days and not 15. It's more attractive to the seller, the shorter inspection day, the shorter period of inspection days. Some sellers will request that you have a 7-day inspection period. Why? Because this is the period where the buyer can cancel the contract, no questions asked, and get their deposit returned. All right. That means that within this 10-day period, you should have an inspection performed on the property, and a decision is to be made by the buyer whether they want to continue with the purchase or they want to back out. So we leave it at 10 days. Okay. Moving on down all the way, you're going to see here that we have the selection of the addendums or the additional terms. What other addendums are we including? We're including the condominium rider. Okay, if you were doing an FHA loan, then you'd be including the FHA financing. If you are doing an appraisal contingency, then you'd be selecting appraisal contingency. And we are going to need a seller's disclosure. They're going to give it to you. All right, the seller's going to give it to you. Now, you notice what I highlighted there, conveyance of foreign buyers. All right, this is a law, rather new law that was passed here in Florida, where if you have a foreign buyer, specifically from several countries, that you can read it in the conveyance of foreign buyer addendum. I'm not going to show them to you now, but if they are from those specific countries, then you must include this conveyance of foreign buyer addendum. But if your buyer is from here, from the States, or from a country that's not included in this this law, then just erase it. You don't need it. Okay. Right here, we have our additional terms. Buyer will pay $495 transaction broker fee to Elite Ocean View Realty. Seller shall close and any open or expired permits or code violations. And then down here, you're going to see the opportunity for your buyers to sign, for the sellers to sign. And then next to our brokerage name, you're going to put in the commission, all right now. Now, of course, coming July, end of July, this is no longer going to exist. Okay. So right now, you'd be putting 3% because that's what is stated on the MLS. And that's the commission you will make as a buyer agent. Coming July, you're going to put in the percentage here that you are charging your buyer in the buyer broker agreement. Okay, so it's a little different. Right now, we go off of what the MLS says. But coming end of July, when the rules take place, the new rules take place, we're going to be putting here the percentage that we are charging our buyer for our work. Okay. Click on save. That's the little disc up here. Click on save. Now, guys, we're going to click on the little close and fill everything else out. All the different contracts and documents that you're going to be using to prepare the offer correctly. Once you do so, you want to select the documents that you want to use, and you want to go ahead and click on eSign if you have already purchased your eSign. If you do not have eSign, then your other options are to download the form to your computer and then forward the forms to your client in a PDF format. They can then print it and sign it and then return it to you. Or you can download and print a copy and then go in person with your buyer and have them sign it. And now you have the signed document. All right, to use eSign is very simple. I'm going to go ahead and show you. All right, We select the contracts that we want to send over to our client, and then we click on eSign. We're going to remove these parties. These parties are not signing this document. We're going to go ahead and click on create a new eSign session. Pay attention, folks. I am using Google. All right, Google Chrome has a pop-up blocker, and this eSign opens up usually in a pop-up window. All right, so if it does open, which in this case it opened, but it opened directly. But if it does open in a pop-up window, it's going to give you an option to click on a blue link that says click here to continue. You're going to click there to continue, and it takes you here. All right, so what would be the session title when you're emailing them? I'm just going to go ahead and say here, let's copy the address of the property like this. And let's put in here purchase contracts. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and spell here purchase contract. And I normally like to do this purchase contract and the address. And then just a little message for your client. Hi, Michael. Please sign your offer. Okay. Now, down here, where you see this little blue icon, this is where you add your recipients. Who's going to sign? So you open this up, and I already have Michael in here. Okay, I already have Michael in here, and I actually have him several times over. And then I have other clients that I've used in the past, right? Now, down here, you have the option to add a recipient. We're going to go ahead and add a recipient, and I'm going to go ahead and put in here Michael, Jordan. Okay, and then we're going to put in here the email address for Michael. I'm going to put in one of my personal email addresses that I use. And then we're going to go ahead and click on save. All right. So now we have Michael and his email address. And you're going to do this for every single participating buyer in this contract. Okay. For every single participating buyer in the contract, you're going to add their information, and then you're going to save it. The next step is to click on next right here. Who is buyer number one? Michael. All right, so Michael's buyer number one. If we had added Michael's wife, then we would select here Michael's wife. Guys, when you're representing a tenant and you get to this part, it is very important to realize that the first two options is landlord, and the last two options is tenant. Many people make the mistake thinking that the first option is for your tenant, and you assign the incorrect role to your tenant. So please read. In a buying situation, buyers are first, then sellers. But in a rental situation, then the landlord is first and the tenant is second. All right. You click on next, you click on yes. You click on next up here. All the fields will be populated automatically. See here, MJ? See here, MJ? So all the fields are populated automatically. Guys, now let's say Michael tells you, Robert, let's scratch out one of these lines. All right. So there is a way here on the left that you can add text. You can add strike throughs, underline, highlight, and check mark. Let's go ahead and click on strike through, and let's strike through line 233 like this. Okay. Now we need the initials of our buyer right at this strike through, and then eventually we'll need the initials of the seller as well. So right here, we got Michael, Right here, we have initials, and we're just going to click and drag and place the initials right there. We need Michael to initial that, strike through. That means this line does not pertain to the contract itself. All right. You know, in reality, it'll be like this. You need to cross out this line, this one, and probably this one down here as well. All right. Now you only need one initial, right? If you're crossing out an entire section like this, you only need one initial. Now, if you're doing strike throughs down here as well, then you're going to need initials down here as well. Okay. All right. All the way down, all the way down. You'll see here that Michael will sign here and he will date this. All the initial fields are completed. All the signature fields are completed. You simply click on send. And now Michael will receive an email that says, please sign. Watch. All right. You see this here? This is the email. All right. Roberto Rodriguez has invited Michael Jordan to sign. And says, hi, Michael, please sign your offer. Okay. So Michael can do this from a computer. He can do this from a mobile device. He can do this from a tablet. Very simple. Review and sign. Michael's going to click on this. Okay. They can decline the eSign session if they do not wish to sign this contract. Maybe they had a change of mind, change of heart, right? Or they will agree to the terms and they will click on start signing. Everyone here by this you know, by 2024, everyone here has experience with some type of DocuSign or eSign. All right. I remember introducing this to realtors 10 years ago, and you know, it was somewhat new, but it's no longer new, guys. It's very simple. Everyone's pretty much done this. They're gonna click on start. They can read the contract first, right? They can read the contract first and they can say, you know what, I decline it. I don't want to sign it. Okay, so they can definitely do that. But if they're ready to sign, they're gonna click on start, and it's just gonna go step by step. All right, it's very simple. They click here, that's MJ. Go next, click, and they're just gonna go through the entire process of signing this document. Notice the initial next to the strike throughs. All right. Moving on here. A few more. All right, we got Michael's signature. We got the date. And it says, all required fields have been completed. Would you like to complete your signing ceremony? Yes. Congratulations, it is now signed. Okay. Now, guys, I'm going to go here to my email. This is my email right here. And notice how I got an email that says Michael Jordan has signed the contract. I'm going to get now a secondary email. Okay. I'm going to get a secondary email. Let me go ahead and refresh this. That says your the congratulations, your session is now completed. All right. So let's wait here. There it is. Signing completed. You will then download the document to your computer. It's a PDF and it's ready for us to present to the listing agent as an offer. Okay. Where else can you find this document? You can find it right here inside of your transactions. There's 221 Meridian. You can open here. And I want you guys to notice, right, underneath files, you will see the as-is contract for sale and purchase received from digital signing service and the certificate of authenticity. So this is what certifies and validates the signatures on this contract. You don't need to send this as proof. For the most part, everyone understands that we use an e-signing service. But if there's ever a question, ever a doubt, whether the signing is valid or not, then you have a certificate of authenticity as well. So you can access the contract through here, or you can go to your email. You're going to see it. It says, congratulations, all parties have signed this session. Download the document, download the PDF to your computer. Now send it as an offer. When you have multiple parties, you have one or two, two or three buyers or renters or just signers. You're not going to get this email until everyone has signed. So how do you check how many people have signed? Go to your transaction like this, right? Go to the transaction and you see up here, eSign sessions. Click on it. It's going to tell you the progress, right, of this eSign session. So for example, I have a backup offer addendum here sent and it has not been completed. I can cancel this session at any time by clicking on cancel. As a matter of fact, I am going to cancel it because this property is no longer on the market. All right, so I can cancel it by clicking on cancel. Or not. It's not canceling. All right, cancel. All right, we're gonna go ahead and click on it and see if I can cancel this session from within. You see here, all right, how we have here in progress, 1 of 2. Wow. All right, so I can always go here to the right-hand side and I can cancel this by clicking on cancel. And then do not send cancel notification. Do not click on confirm. This is now canceled. All right, so you can always check on the progress of your eSign sessions from within the transaction by clicking on eSign sessions. And here's the progress of all of my sessions. You see this? Completed, completed. You know, these are, this is obviously a sample one, but this is a real offer that was completed. And then this is another offer that was completed. And then, you know, you have others that you have down here. All right. That is how you check your e-signing sessions. All right, guys. So when you go to your transaction and you now need to send an addendum or create an addendum, this is why I get used to having already an addendum in here. You click on it. And this would be addendum number 1. Okay. The addendum is to be added after the contract is effective. So after the contract has been signed by the seller and you have an effective date. So let's say the effective date is today. So the 7th of May. Okay. And let's say that you're going to make a change to the inspection period. All right. The addendums should always begin like this. Seller and buyer make the following terms and conditions part of the contract. You're going to put this. Seller and buyer agree to extend the inspection date to, say, May 20th, 2024, period. And then you're going to go enter, and you're going to go all other terms and conditions of this contract remain the same. Okay. And that's how you prepare an addendum. What addendums do is that they make changes to the terms of the contract. So what changes can be made? We need to extend the loan commitment date. We need to extend the inspection period. We need to extend the appraisal period. We need to extend the closing date. We need to add the fact that the seller is going to contribute certain amount of money towards the buyer's closing costs. any changes to an executed contract, since we really cannot go into the contract and change it, you will be adding addendums. Okay. You click on save, and now you get this addendum to be e-signed, right? You get this addendum to be e-signed by selecting it and then go through the e-sign process. To add another addendum, guys, blank form. It's in alphabetical order. It's the first one. Add to a transaction. Now notice it says addendum copy 1. All right. This addendum will be what? Addendum number 2. Put in the effective date. Once again, the effective date is today. And then go ahead and write the terms, and always finish with all other terms and conditions of this contract remain the same. Okay, and then save it. And now you start building your addendums inside of your contract. As a reminder, always send all signed documents and addendums to our transaction coordinator each and every time you get something signed. We need to stay on top of your transaction, make sure that everything is completed. Also, send a copy of all signed documents and addendums to the lender and also to the title company. Very important. Okay. They also need to be aware that, say, an inspection period is extended, or an appraisal period, or the loan commitment period, or the closing date is extended. So make sure that you send a copy that is signed to everyone involved. Okay, let's go back to transaction, guys. Once you are finished with your transaction, okay, you see this over here where it says settings. Click on settings. You have the transaction name, you have the purchase, the property type and the transaction type, right? You see this over here, status. You have new, active, pending, close. All right, expired, withdrawn, terminated, rejected. You cannot delete transactions, okay? Our brokerage does not allow you to delete transactions. So if you were practicing, then you might as well just put it here, withdrawn or expired, and you move on to the next one. You can practice as much as you want, guys. It's not going to hurt. All right, for legal reasons, we cannot delete transactions, so we are not able to erase a practice transaction. Okay. One more thing I wanted to go ahead and show you guys is, I'm going to put it here, pending, right? If I wanted to create a team and I wanted to share this transaction with my team, you see this little option right here? Click on it. All right, I do have a little team here called Yadi and Robert. All right, I'm going to turn it on. It is now on, and I am sharing all of this with Yadi and Robert, and all I need to do is this. That's a transaction that I am now sharing with my colleague, Yadi. I'm going to come here and turn it off because we're not working on this transaction together. But let's say I'm working on this transaction with someone else, then you're going to create a team. Very simple. Create a team name. I'm going to call this ABC. All right. Team member, every single agent from our office is in here. Right. I'm going to go ahead and add David Vasquez Anderes, right? We're going to click here. I added him. I'm going to go ahead and give him permission, full permission with commission details and everything, and then create the team. All right, just created the team. See here, manage. All right, I have 2 teams. I have the ABC team with David, and I have the Yadi and Robert team with Yadi. All right, if I come over here, I can add more people to this team, or I can delete David if I wanted to, or I can delete the team altogether. All right, what's the purpose of the team? I can now come here and I can say, let's share this with the ABC team, and let's save it. Okay. Now David has access to this transaction from his form simplicity. Even though I'm the one that created and I am managing it, he has access, full access to this transaction from his form simplicity. Let's remove, all right, the fact that we added, we shared it with Yachty and also David, and let's hit save, all right. It's no longer in green, now it's in black. We are not sharing this transaction with anyone, okay? All right, guys, so practice with one of your colleagues, creating a team. It's really cool service. You know, you don't have to like send them a PDF or anything. You can just call, hey, David, I added you to this transaction. You now have access to it. You can log in and you can create forms. You can send, for e-signatures, you can help me out. So this is especially great if a colleague is going to help you out while you are out of town on vacation somewhere. You can always create a team, and it's very simple. From your transactions page, click on the little share option, create a team name, add the members. If I want to add Dale, right, our broker, Dale Palmieri, and then you click on add, make sure that you add the team name, the team members will be here, and then you want to share this with that specific team, okay? All right, guys, so that in a nutshell is how you use form simplicity, guys. Up here in my files, this is kind of like a storage. I don't really use it, but you guys can upload files here and keep them here, sort of like iCloud, where you can store different files if you like. And then I don't use contacts either. I only have here John Smith, just a fake contact that I added. I'm actually going to delete it. Right? I don't really import contacts into here. I mostly just use my contacts inside of eSign, right? Remember when we opened up eSign and you saw a list of people? That's where I keep my contacts in form simplicity. All right. Any questions in what we just covered today? This is your opportunity right now to ask some questions.
I have a question, Robert.
Yes.
Okay, so back to the escrow agent. When you're submitting an offer for your buyer, should you know the escrow agent at that time?
Yes. So in our broker package, when you're doing the as-is contract, there's going to be a little written message there that says contact Robert for an escrow agent. Now, if you already have someone you trust, someone that you really like, use them. Otherwise, if you need a recommendation, we have several title companies that we use as partners, and just call me and I will forward you the information for them.
Okay,
I'm
great.
always
Thank you.
available. Even if I don't pick up the phone, just text me, say, hey, Robert, I need an escrow agent, and I'll send it to you right away.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Hey, Robert, Derek here. Quick question. Back to where you were saying the buyer and seller for rentals, it seemed very counterintuitive and opposite. How is the buyer, how is the buyer and seller different when it comes to leasing or renting?
It's just a position, and that was just a word of caution. So let me go ahead and select something here real quick. All right. And let me select the contract to lease. And let me click on eSign. All right. And let's remove all these parties. We don't need those people. That's just the agents that are involved. Right. And then we're going to get into the eSign session. I just wanted to caution you because I've made that mistake before myself. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put in here test. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to add Sebastian, right? We're going to go ahead and click on select. We're going to click on next. You see how before we had buyers first and then sellers?
Yep.
You may think it's the same when you're doing a lease, but it's not. Your tenant is not first. It's the landlord. So if you come here and you say Sebastian, now when you're doing the contract, Sebastian's
Oh,
signing in the wrong location.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. That makes more sense.
So,
Perfect.
so what I was saying is that to be careful when you're assigning roles in a lease situation that the tenant is actually down here. Now that's correctly assigned, you know, and Sebastian will be signing this. Okay.
Perfect.
I've made that mistake myself. It's an honest mistake. You know, can be quickly fixed basically by redoing it, and that's it. But you'll notice, you'll because I'm sure everyone here is going to review the contract and the assignment of signatures, and you're going to see, well, wait a minute, this doesn't look right. You know, why is Sebastian signing where the landlord signs? So if you notice that, then you're going to go back and redo it, and that's it. All right, folks. All right, very simple, guys. Form simplicity. It's from your Florida Realtors. You guys, please invest in the eSign. It's easy to use, and obviously, saves you time from having to wait for them to scan a PDF and email it to you, or hand deliver the contract and have them sign it. You know, we do it through eSign. They can sign it through their mobile device or tablet or their computer. All right. All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining me today in this class. I truly enjoyed teaching it to you guys. I'm going to go ahead and share this recording with you later on this afternoon. And as always, if you have any questions, please reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to assist you with your questions. All right. Perfect. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Robert. Thank you.
Robert.
Thank you.
Thank you.